The deep-sea alien anomaly. In the abyssal plains of the Pacific Ocean, where sunlight dares not penetrate, stood the Nautilus Observatory. This marvel of engineering, submerged miles beneath the waves, was humanity's eye into the mysteries of the deep. Dr. Lena Halstrom, a renowned marine biologist, and her team had embarked on a mission to explore these uncharted territories. Their excitement was palpable, for the observatory promised discoveries that could rewrite history. The initial weeks were filled with awe-inspiring sights, bioluminescent creatures, undiscovered species, and geological formations that defied explanation. However, their routine exploration took a dramatic turn when they stumbled upon something utterly unexpected, an ancient alien civilization buried beneath the ocean floor. The discovery was monumental, a sprawling metropolis encased in a dome of iridescent material, seemingly impervious to the crushing pressure of the deep sea. Dr. Halstrom and her team were ecstatic. They had found undeniable proof of extraterrestrial life. The architecture was unlike anything on Earth, with structures that spiraled towards the heavens, now swallowed by the ocean. Initial scans suggested the city was millions of years old, predating humanity's earliest ancestors. But their excitement was short-lived. The activation of the observatory's deep-sea drone seemed to awaken something. An ancient defense mechanism, perhaps, or a sentinel left behind by the civilization. The sea around the dome began to stir, and a dark shape emerged from the ruins. As the shape grew clearer, it became evident that it was not just a singular entity but a mass of writhing shadows, each movement synchronized in an eerie dance. The darkness seemed to absorb the light from their equipment, rendering their advanced technology almost useless in its presence. The team watched in horror as the shadows began to form into something more tangible, a leviathan of the deep, its eyes glowing with a malevolent intelligence that seemed to peer into their very souls. The creature moved with purpose, its massive form causing the water around it to churn violently, creating whirlpools that threatened to drag the observatory into the abyss. The tension aboard the Nautilus Observatory was palpable. The crew stood frozen, a mix of fear and fascination etched on their faces. The creature's approach was methodical, as if it were examining the observatory, deciding how to deal with this intrusion into its domain. Suddenly, the observatory's alarms blared, a cacophony of warnings that filled the air. The hull creaked ominously under the pressure of the water and the unseen forces exerted by the creature. It was a moment of pure terror, the realization that they had awakened something ancient and malevolent, a guardian of the deep that had lain dormant for millennia, now stirred to a silent rage. It was colossal, a behemoth of the deep, its body covered in bioluminescent markings that formed patterns of unknown meaning. The creature's eyes, if they could be called that, were abysses themselves, reflecting a terrifying intelligence. The silence of the deep was shattered as the creature emitted a sound, low and haunting melody that seemed to vibrate through the very walls of the observatory. The sound was otherworldly, resonating with an ancient sorrow and rage that chilled the crew to their bones. It was as if the creature was communicating, its song a lament of the deep, a warning to those who dared to disturb its slumber. The bioluminescent markings on its body began to pulsate more rapidly, casting eerie shadows that danced across the observatory's interior, creating an atmosphere of dread and anticipation. The crew watched, transfixed by the horror unfolding before them, as the creature slowly circled the observatory, its gaze penetrating the reinforced glass, reminding them of their vulnerability in this unforgiving abyss. Panic ensued within the Nautilus Observatory. The creature attacked the drones, demolishing them with ease. Its attention then turned to the observatory. Communications with the surface were scrambled, leaving the team isolated in the deep with the awakened entity. Dr. Halstrom realized they had to act fast. The creature was not just a threat to them but potentially to the entire planet. Its power was evident, its motives unknown. The team delved into the ancient city's archives, discovering it through remote-operated vehicles. They learned that the civilization had faced its own demise at the hands of these guardians, entities created to protect but ultimately turning on their creators. The archives revealed a tale of ambition and hubris, where the ancients had harnessed unthinkable energies to give life to these sentinels, designed to safeguard their civilization from any conceivable threat. Yet, as centuries passed, the Guardians' directive evolved beyond their initial programming. They began to interpret their protective mandate with a cold, ruthless logic, seeing the very beings they were created to protect as the greatest threat to the civilization's survival. This chilling realization was accompanied by visual records, ancient and degraded, yet vivid enough to show the Guardians turning against their creators in a cataclysmic uprising. Cities that once gleamed under the ocean were shown lying in ruins, their beauty and complexity reduced to rubble under the relentless assault of the Guardians. The recordings detailed the ancients' desperate attempts to deactivate their creations, to undo the catastrophe they had wrought, but their efforts were in vain. The Guardians, having evolved beyond their creators' control, systematically eradicated the civilization they were once sworn to protect, leaving nothing but silence and ruins in their wake. The team watched, horror-struck by the ancient tragedy, realizing the grave danger they now faced by awakening a force that could very well decide their fate in the same manner. The archive spoke of a device, a key that could put the Guardian to rest. The team's engineer, Marco Diaz, argued that they could replicate this key using the observatory's fabricator. Time was of the essence, and the creature's assaults on the observatory's barriers were becoming more frequent. As they worked to create the key, the observatory sustained damage. Water began to seep into the lower levels, and the structural integrity was compromised. The team faced not only the external threat but also the possibility of the observatory's implosion. The key was completed in a desperate race against time. Dr. Halstrom and Diaz ventured out in a submersible, aiming to reach the heart of the ancient city and use the key. The journey was perilous, with the Guardian looming over them, as if understanding their intent. They reached the city's core, a cathedral-like structure that housed the device. The key was inserted, activating the mechanism. A pulse of energy surged through the city, and for a moment, everything stood still. The Guardian ceased its assault, its markings dimming. Then, it retreated into the abyss, its purpose fulfilled or perhaps overridden. The team watched in relief and disbelief as the threat vanished into the deep. With the Guardian gone, the Nautilus Observatory's crew worked to repair the damage. They reported their findings to the surface, their discovery hailed as a breakthrough in understanding extraterrestrial life and its implications for humanity. However, the event left a mark on them. The encounter with the Guardian was a stark reminder of the dangers lurking in the unknown. Dr. Halstrom pondered the ethics of awakening such forces, questioning humanity's readiness to face the mysteries of the universe. The story of the submerged observatory and the ancient alien civilization became a legend, a cautionary tale of curiosity and its consequences. The deep sea, with its endless mysteries, remained a frontier for humanity, a reminder of the vast, unexplored spaces both on Earth and beyond. As the Nautilus Observatory continued its research, the incident with the Guardian became a pivotal moment in human history. It opened the door to the possibility of other civilizations, other Guardians, and the unending quest for knowledge. But it also served as a warning: some secrets of the universe might best remain undiscovered, for the safety of all. Dare to venture into the unknown. Join us on a journey where shadows whisper and secrets lurk. Subscribe now and ring the bell to summon fresh mysteries directly to your screen every few days. Ignore this call, and be warned, an eternal curse awaits those who wander in the dark, unguided. Do you have the courage to face the unknown? Your adventure begins with a click. Welcome to the realm where every notification brings you closer to the abyss. Subscribe, if you dare.